Remarks of visitors? Seeing none, or hearing none. Discussion on Navasota EDC website and social media.
So we've been working lately with the retail coach for the regional retail recruitment and the national retail recruitment, and we've also talked to them about doing an EDC website for us. Just to kind of give us a presence online for businesses and industries that might be interested in relocating here to get information that's easily accessible. So this is something that they were able to provide for us.
Our video.
Mm-hmm. We did a little community summary on here, and it also has all of the reports that the retail coach provides for us annually anyways. And then there's also a section for available sites as well, and then the GIS tool. So I just wanted to show y'all that. And I know that we had created the Navasota, instead of so much so close, branding it separately, Economic Development Corporation. So I didn't know if you guys wanted to switch out and put that logo on there, just so it...
I would.
Okay. But I'll send this link to you guys to look over and see if there's anything.
Rena, are you able to share your screen?
Oh, or can you not see that?
No.
Thank you. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I see the video. I see the airport.
Thanks for that video.
And where was the logo?
It's not a good advertisement.
Entry's bad.
But it's not their fault, at least.
Yeah, and they're damn sure gonna let you know that too. Oh, of course we had to.
So I'll send you guys this link just for any comments or anything that you guys see or want to make changes to, but I just wanted to give you all an update on that.
You're just gonna probably do like
A domain.
press release or something just to kind of get the word out on.
Yeah, once we kind of tweak it and make changes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have for that.
All right, got any questions on this at this point? If not, we'll go to item 4, discussion, consideration, and possible action on conducting the NEDC retreat planning session.
So I know that we had discussed this the last meeting, and we decided to decline the proposal just based on cost. But I had known that from the previous meeting, you guys had all expressed an interest in working with Ron Cox, who had also done the city council planning retreat. So I was able to go back to him and see if, since the cost was an issue, maybe if we could kind of limit the scope and see what we could take out to get the price down a little bit. So he came back and was able to limit it down to 4 services that include the initial meetings with the city manager, ED specialist, and each board member, facilitate an EDC planning session. So then this time it would be, instead of being a full day long, it would be a half a day, so that might work better with y'all's schedules anyways, to be able to take only a half day off instead of the full day. And then he would deliver a final report to the board, city manager, and ED specialist, just wrapping up the process of what y'all decide are some main things that you want to focus on for the next year, for the next few years moving forward, and then any additional services that may be requested. So with that, it would include, as of right now, what he has scheduled is March 3rd, that Wednesday. He would have individual meetings with each board member, 1 hour each, just to kind of see what are some main initiatives and, that you guys, and goals and objectives for the NEDC board and projects that you want to see, and then coming together on March 10th, the following Wednesday, to host the planning retreat. And so by limiting that down, it almost broke it in half to about $4,500, so $4,485 plus any expenses that might come up. And then in your packet, I also I provided the proposal that he sent, along with the fee schedule, and then his client list that he's worked with since 2006.
We just had the city council retreat, last Friday. I think Bert would agree, it went very well. Ron does a really good job.
Yes, definitely.
It was
Trying to
really,
figure out what's his experience in economic development.
he actually did our economic development, policy here.
Back in 2013.
So is it back up?
It's been a while, but yeah, he's done that and some other
And he's,
DC work.
on his client list, he's worked with 70 cities, and then he's also worked with 5 economic development
See,
corporations. Yeah.
I didn't see, he's a busy fella, lots of stuff here.
And I know that we had kind of talked about the idea of possibly, like Brad and I getting together to try to do that, but just given the price of him being able to cut it in half and be able to have those one-on-one meetings with each board member, facilitate the planning session with his experience that he has, and then being able to deliver a final report to us, all for under $5,000, we felt that, that was a good deal considering his experience. And that he just recently worked with the city council, so he'll have an idea of some of the objectives and goals and priorities of the city council as well.
So this schedule here figures out to 40, what'd you say?
Yeah, 4,885, or 4,485, sorry.
What's your pulse, Johnny?
I would say I have the same concerns and objections that we had at the last meeting, which is that I would prefer to use these kinds of funds. It's still, to me, a large amount, and I prefer to use the funds for something more directly impactful to our businesses rather than pay with this man.
Anybody else have a feeling one way or another?
But it seems like a lot to me too, but.
At the last meeting, I was kind of in agreement with Johnny about it, about the cost, and I don't know that I've changed. You know, with almost $5,000, we could help a couple of businesses with that kind of money.
I agree with Johnny also. I don't think this is the time to do something like this.
Well, we need to do something so that Raina has a little bit of direction. This is Brad, I'm sorry, for those of you that can't see. Because right now, we're dancing around, chasing every kind of thing and not really sure where the board wants to be, and it makes it really hard. I mean, whether you hire him or do something, we need to do something to get the board and, kind of pointed in a direction so that staff can help facilitate that.
I think I agree with that notion as well, just having some type of goals and I guess like more focused in the direction for us to go. I think we do need that, but I think too I'm kind of on the fence just about the cost.
Yeah, maybe there's another way to achieve that, what you are needing for direction. I mean, everything that Raymond has come to us so far, I mean, we're fairly supportive with just about every idea regarding marketing our EDC and doing the new logo and a website, and we've been pretty supportive of her ideas, and I think we will continue to be.
Have we done something like, or has the board done something like this in the past?
I don't recall.
No, not in 15 years they haven't. I don't know what they did before, 15 years ago.
I don't remember ever having anything like that.
The city council does something like this on an annual basis. It helps us kind of with budgeting. It helps us get our plan together for the year. That's why we thought this would be helpful to, just to get the board on a similar page where we know what, and everybody has a chance to say their piece, and then we decide which, because I know that not, out of 7 people, you probably got 7 different ideas where we ought to go, maybe not, but, and if you just want staff to keep plugging, we'll keep plugging.
I mean, are there not any other options?
Well, I mean, we can do it, but, I mean, anytime you hire a consultant, of course, you're gonna pay, I mean, that's actually for the hours not too bad, but, you get what you pay for on a lot of them too. You can pay $200, he or she will give you $200 worth of work. I mean, Raina and I talked about it. We're willing to, we'll put something together, and just remember, Raina's really good. Brad is gonna look like Brad did it.
I think we might get our money's worth with Raina. I don't know about Brad. Just kidding.
Yeah, I think with mine, you're gonna all wish that you would have paid $10,000 to get somebody to do it, but if Raina does it, I'm good at the facilitation, it's the writing part that I'm not good at.
Would there be something from TEDC? Do they have any resources?
I could check.
I mean, they're the association.
Mhm.
I just would like something to compare it to.
Right. Over my.
Can we kind of,
Is that a lot of facilitators, I
mean,
walk away with nothing sometimes.
yeah. I mean, I can speak for Ron though. I mean, he did our city council, but that's still a lot of money for, based on what our budget size is.
can we key off of what?
Just to say we're already doing maybe or something, because we're doing the retail, we're doing the grants, and,
What was that, Roger?
Can we key off of what the city council's planning retreat, was?
There's some meat in there that would be EDC, projects or worthy for you to, pursue. So, if you don't wanna spend any money,
I'm not
we
saying
can
don't spend any.
finish.
I mean, I'm just saying, maybe like TEDC would have like.
Yeah, well, she can look at that, but I mean, we can look at once we finalize all this city one, we could turn around and come back in here, present it to y'all, because there's pieces of it that are economic development related.
It's just not gonna get into the meat.
Present it to y'all, and then y'all start having the conversation, and we can put together a plan for the
We can make
year
sausage.
of what you want, to pursue out of that, or how you can pursue some of what the city council is coming out with, how you can pursue that from an economic development corporation standpoint.
Because do we not have, do we not have the standard mission statement and all that? Sure, we don't have.
EDC?
I thought we had
I
done
thought
that
we'd done that.
at some point.
Yeah, I thought that was on the shelf somewhere.
Cause see, that's part of this deal.
Right. You sure that's not on the shelf somewhere?
I've never seen the mission statement of the EDC.
'Cause I know we
Other
haven't-
than in the bylaws, whatever.
We
it
haven't
says.
been totally flying by the seat of our pants. I mean, we did have some direction from somewhere when I
Right.
first got on
Right.
here. Although it may be basic.
And I don't think it's like we haven't been doing anything. I think we've done quite a bit, even the last couple of years.
Well, yeah,
That's
we're
a
not,
pretty good project out there we got our name signed to.
yeah, we're not saying that you
And we're
anything.
meeting people as they come in. We met people on the COVID deal. So I don't think we're sitting here, doing nothing.
Well, that's not the indication that we're trying to make. We're just looking for a little bit more focus on where we wanna go. I mean, that's fine. We can make it happen. It doesn't have to take a lot of money. It can take a little time, and we can put some things together. And
And you could have somebody from TDC or something, or some organization come and talk, like, talk to us, just, maybe about what's going on now in economic development,
Right.
just kind of a general, these are some of the things a lot of different cities are doing, and this and that,
Right.
just kind of a real broad, so then we can kind of pick and choose,
yeah.
and maybe enhance or just give her more.
Well, and you may come back and, it may just be obvious that, we wanna pursue, work with the retail coach and on that retail development. Of course, we're always open, doesn't matter who shows up, we're always open, trying to help and do things and do whatever.
Because we also wanna help existing businesses, obviously.
Right.
Those things, I think, are pretty known, but.
A few years back, whenever we eliminated you guys paying for a director, the decision by that board at the time, which has changed a lot, except for Mike and Bert. Maybe Johnny was still on there then, and Kathy, but it has changed. But the group back then said, okay, because I made the pitch, let's just let the city manage or be your staff, and then, because y'all were saying, let's do more city projects, that's how we got the parking lot and the drainage project. And if that's still the focus, that's great, because, guaranteed we can spend some money. You don't have a lot to spend right now.
Right,
but
and
we
that's one
can-
of my thoughts on this, with that project we're in now, spending $5,000, and if we run into a big project, we don't have any money.
Yeah.
So we might have all these grandiose ideas, but we don't have any money to do it. And even before, when we had our paid guy, we did the, gas and water out in both, out to
Stone Ridge.
the Stone Ridge and out to where now,
Yeah.
on toward Brenham and all that there, so.
Do you have a formal job description for Rena?
Mhm.
Okay. You might wanna look at that too. Just,
Yep. I had one before I hired her.
I figured you did, but it could maybe give us some.
But, we can, maybe just do this, maybe Raina and I could do individual interviews with the board, get some ideas of, you know, what's on your mind, what do you think a good thing for us to do, you know, or a direction to head. And if everybody's, you know, honest with that, then we can piece it together, have a little workshop.
I mean, Brad, you and I can do that SWOT analysis.
Yeah, and
You
put
and I've
that-
done 100 of them.
Put that forward
That was part of this.
so that we can, you know, we can have the conversation. You know, the main thing is understanding who we are, what we're gonna do, and what are we gonna attract?
I mean, who more than us are gonna know?
Yeah, you know, 'cause my deal is, we sure don't wanna go trying to chase something that we can't get, and we're forgetting about a little 20-job.
Well, yeah, I mean, we, like, you know, Walmart's, we don't even talk about it anymore, because we know it's not feasible. So, let's talk about this. This is another thing we wanna do. And I think the parking lot's a good example, because that was a true need. And, I'm proud of that.
Oh, I think, well, we'll be when we get the sewer line fixed, but other than that, I'm very proud of it, but,
Any other comments? Anybody got any other ideas, or?
That sounds to me like a good task, Brad.
I'd still like to see what TEDC might have to offer those.
Oh,
If nothing else, they have a speaker bureau that they could, you know, pass down some expertise on planning and just with the state of the economy, you know, we're gonna hear that probably at the Economic Development Conference, the BCS thing's coming up. That'll give us some good thoughts and everything. I mean, we know.
Where would we have it? At City Hall or Community Center?
wherever you want to.
Yep.
We could do it over at the Navasota Center and spread out if that makes everybody feel better. Or we can do it in the council chambers, and we'll work on it, Roger, and,
Okay.
get back with you guys. She and I'll put our heads together in the next week or two and kind of think through. That gives her time to call TEDC and talk to them.
If we have it there at City Hall, you have a lot more, if y'all needed something or you're familiar with electronics, you know, it's just easier.
She's familiar with electronics, I'm not. If you're dealing with me, we're getting a piece of handwritten paper. Or a
Yellow rule tablet.
a whiteboard or whatever, what do you call it?
Yellow
Whiteboard.
stickies.
We'll work on something and get back with you guys.
Need a motion for this current agenda item?
I would think so.
I move that we pass on the proposal by Mr. Cox.
John has made a motion that we not agree to have Mr. Cox have a session with us for the $4,485. Is there a second to that?
Second.
I second.
That was Brittany, but I think Roger did too.
I think Roger beat her to it.
Okay. Hey, Roger.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motions indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll move on to the next item, which is discussion, consideration, and possible action on continuing shop local in Navasota commercial campaign with Willie 1550 and 98.7.
In February of last year, the board approved a proposal from Bryan Broadcasting to run a Shop Local Navasota radio campaign, with commercials airing 3 times a day between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. on Willie 1550 and 98.7. And then Bryan Broadcasting has approached us again, asking if the board would like to continue the campaign. So it's a total of $800, billed $200 quarterly. And then I've also attached a few examples of invoices that we've received, just kind of as proof of, it shows the time and the day when each ad is run. And so that started in March, I believe, of last year. And so now it's time to decide if we want to renew it.
Since it runs on the AM and the FM.
Mm-hmm.
It runs, 'cause I hear it all the time.
We might, if we do, we might wanna change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Might wanna, so it doesn't sound like the same thing going over and over. Does Kenny do it? Did he record it or somebody else?
I think Kenny,
It's somebody else.
oh, yeah, okay. I don't know who did it. They said I could do it, but I don't have a radio voice.
I think it'd be cool if somebody else did it.
And we can change it quarterly too. We would just probably want to decide as a board then what we want to change it to each quarter, depending on if we want to focus on different things that are maybe going on around town, like for Home for the Holidays, talking more about holiday related for that quarter or something, I don't know.
And I don't mind doing it if we want it to be some of us to do it, I don't mind doing it.
He's been grilled, so he
Yeah.
is experienced. I don't know, I'd rather hear
Anybody have any,
rather hear me.
I can try.
reasons to why we wouldn't wanna do it, or?
I've heard the ads, this is Johnny, I've heard the ads, and I mean, I think they're effective, and it shows the business community that we're here and we're supportive of them, and just puts it out to the public too. So I kind of like the ads. And also it supports the local radio station, which is important.
Right, right. At this cost, it's pretty efficient.
Well, and being that we spread out the
Right.
cost, it's not all at once, so.
Yeah.
I move we
Well, I like
continue.
the idea of changing it up every quarter too. That's a good idea.
Yeah. I move we go ahead and renew it and just, change it up a little bit. I mean, it doesn't have to be, we don't wanna change the message, I guess, but we wanna maybe do it with a different voice or do it, with, might wanna include some local people, local voices, maybe. You know, like somebody, one of the storekeepers downtown, saying, hey, shop local, this is
Right.
so-and-so from, this is Kathy from, where are you from now? Cotton and Oak. This is Kathy from Cotton and Oak.
It would have to be in such a way that, well, the message, I think, should come from the NEDC. And also, you don't want to piss off 8 business owners because one got.
Right. Right.
I mean, it could just be personalized, I guess is kind of what I'm getting at. Just something that doesn't sound like a recorded shop local, Navasota.
And the thing is that the radio station went to all the businesses and also tried to get them to pay $200 a quarter to do the same thing. Some of them did. And now I heard off the map this morning, I think.
Okay, well, Bert's made a motion, we continue with some tweaks to the campaign. Is there a second to that?
I second.
Okay, we have a first and a second to continue with the shop local with some tweaks to the, to our actual, advertisement. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign? Okay, thank y'all. We'll move on to item 6, which is discussion, consideration, and possible action on opening an additional round of the small business, Navasota Small Business COVID-19 Relief Grant.
So in December of 2020, the EDC received the full reimbursement of the $52,750 from the CARES Act for the first two rounds of the Navasota Small Business COVID-19 Relief Grant. And then recently staff was asked by EDC board members to present an item on having a discussion to open additional rounds of the COVID relief grant. And don't have any attachments for that. I just wanted to point out, recently we've been approached by about 7 businesses in town. 2 of them are interested in doing a special projects grant for business retention and expansion projects, and then the rest of them are interested in doing some like facade and business improvement grants. So I've given those applications out. So I know that we were talking about kind of where y'all want to allocate that money, and so I just wanted to bring it out and let you know that given our limited funds, we have had interest in doing some special project grants. So if this is something you want to move forward with, it might limit the capacity of being able to fund some of these other projects. And also, we've been open, a lot of the businesses have been able to be open since about like June or July of last year without having major closures. So I didn't know if this is something you still want to move forward with given that, but we can open it up to what y'all think.
Would we be reimbursed like we were the last time?
At this time, no, I haven't heard anything. And I'll continue to follow that, and if I do hear of any other relief that will go out to local government and being able to reimburse for economic programs, I can always bring that up in the future if that's something that comes up at the federal level or state level. Because if we want to, I mean, I'll monitor that, and we could always bring it back if those funds become available. And we have a template to follow based on what we did in April of last year, so it would be a fairly quick process, but.
Well, I think if you've got these other applications out, probably right now is not the best time to.
Yeah, and I haven't received any that have been turned in yet, but this has been, I've given out 7 applications within the last month. So this is all since our last scheduled meeting.
We could get ourselves where we might not be able to do some of those grants if we do those COVID again. And right now, like I said, we don't know if we'll get that money back, so.
I think that when we first went into the COVID relief fund, we went in no expectation of getting reimbursed. We just did it because we thought it was
Yeah.
for our businesses.
Right.
We were able to touch 50 businesses with that program.
That was just on a funds available kind of a deal, and we set a budget for it, and it was successful.
Yeah, I mean, from what I said, if we have a budget to do it again, I would say let's do it again and affect 50 businesses once again, rather than holding off for these 4 or 5 who may submit a grant. And we still may be able to fund 4 or 5 grants, depending on what they're asking for.
Through the chamber, Johnny, are you hearing from small businesses still struggling due to the COVID?
I know that there's a pallet company here in town, Shane Woodward, and they're closing up because they lost some of the larger customers, so they don't have the orders, and B, the materials to make pallets has become more costly. So they're folding up. As soon as they fulfill current orders, they're gonna fold up. I don't know that it's new, if it's news, but Eagle Pressure filed for bankruptcy out by the fairgrounds. I don't think that that's new news. We also have a bunch of businesses that are opening. I want to say we probably had half a dozen new businesses. Southern Charm Boutique, a couple of tax repair businesses, Boogie's Tire and Auto Repair, and a couple of others that have just opened. So, answering your question, no, I haven't heard a lot of them who are about to go out of business.
Well, any of the applications you gave out, Reno, were ones that were probably not really as affected by COVID. It's more like they're wanting to just make some improvements.
There were a few, I had talked to, I believe it was two that had asked something about having, like if we still had the COVID relief grants, and I had said no, but we have the business improvement grant that can, and then they were like, oh, so they jumped on that, and so I sent those applications out. But, I mean, because right now it shows that we have $110,000 budgeted for the year for special project grants. So, I mean, if we do go forward with the COVID relief grant right now, we'd have to take into account if we get, if we have other businesses, if some of these submit for special project grants, we might be limiting ourselves of what we can give for businesses that are looking to expand and grow. Because I don't know what's going on at the federal level, if we will be receiving relief for COVID.
I doubt it.
Well, they got this big new package that nobody seems
Yeah,
to
who
know
knows
what's in
what's
it.
gonna be in it, right?
That could- It's probably part of it,
It's going to Pakistan.
yeah.
Every
Or some of these big
Well,
cities that are bankrupt.
There's still quite a few people struggling to pay rent and that type of thing, I know that, you know, from the banking end of it, but.
Well, there are rental assistance right now, I think, through the state. There's an ad in the Examiner.
We have the ability to touch 50 businesses or the ability to help 4 or 5. I'd rather go with the 50 than the 4 or 5. I mean, if we had to choose.
Would we be considering offering under the same guidelines as the previous, is that kind of what you had in mind?
I mean, I haven't put
You haven't
anything
put
together for it yet, but last time when we did it, we didn't have any, there were no reporting requirements or
Right.
anything to know where it's going to, and
Did they just have to show they were in business at a particular point in time, or I've kind of forgotten what the guidelines were?
I think it said they had to be impacted by COVID.
yeah.
There wasn't much to it,
Other than,
and
We wanted
Well, I
it
mean-
to be easy,
Right,
so that it
right.
wasn't.
she begged people to apply for it.
Well, 'cause, you know, he had the beauty shops, obviously, but one
Right.
like that, that were absolutely,
They were
couldn't even
really
have any,
struggling.
do
Right,
business at
right,
all.
right.
Yeah,
And then you had some like I had at the cafe over there, where I had to cut staff because,
Right.
Right. And I know the hotels have been struggling. I visited Navasota last week. And they used to, they're used to piggybacking off of Texas A&M events, and that hasn't been happening for, the better part of the year.
I didn't hear what he said.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, we didn't really get, that kind of came in bits and pieces, Johnny.
I was saying that I know that the hotels are struggling, continue to struggle because they're used to piggybacking off of Texas A&M.
Right.
yeah, 'cause this COVID stuff is pretty much on the tail end now, you're not having as much of effect as when we ran them the first time. There's not as many restrictions as there were. And the cases are going down, deaths are going down, everything's heading to that not even being an issue. I'd say we just, hold off on doing the COVID-19 grants for now. Just play it by ear.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion, yeah.
Bert has made a motion that we just table the issue for now. Is there a second or another motion?
Second.
We have a first and a second to table the COVID issue for now. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion by aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I think.
Okay. I guess it's tabled for now. Next item is 7, is action on approval of minutes of our last meeting of January 20th. And I guess there's also another set of minutes, it's a previous one, which had been February 3rd, I guess, so. 7 is minutes of January 20th, and 8 is minutes of February 3rd. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that minutes be accepted as read.
Both sets? Or just,
Yes, sir.
okay, we have a motion to accept both, minutes as presented, is there a second?
I second, Ms. Johnny.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve accept the minutes as presented, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed or with corrections? If not, we'll go to item 9, economic specialist report.
We're still working with the retail coach, like I showed you guys, the, EDC website that they're helping with. We've been meaning to get another follow-up meeting set up sometime this week, but it probably looks like it'll be next week, just to go over all of the regional recruitment that we've been doing and see if he's had any, responses on that. And then we're continuing to work with, I'm gonna follow up again with the business prospect that we had discussed in, the meeting a few months ago, and that's about it that I have for right now.
All right, anybody else have anything to offer?
I have a question.
Okay,
Johnny, last week I drove to the new parking lot, and there was a truck that was pulling a trailer, I guess, and it took up about 4 parking spots. And there's a whole bunch of trash along the sidewalk, roofing materials and other debris. A pickup truck was on the sidewalk. Is there anything we can do to police that to make it look nicer?
We've got the code enforcement guy working with Mr. Peterson to get that cleaned up. We also have a sewer problem in there that we're working on.
You can't get too ugly with him right now, can you?
Right. because we're making his crap down in the parking lot.
His crap's overflowing. Okay.
And we're working to do a little more concrete work so we can move that dumpster. But not getting it done very fast with everything else that's happening.
Also, I forgot to mention with the Brazos Valley, Economic Outlook Conference, so we have 4 tickets. I know that, Johnny, you said you're not available to go, right?
Right, I'm participating in the Texas A&M, a workshop on workforce development. And I've already committed to doing that before this came to light.
Okay, so then, do we just want to talk about who's gonna go? Can we decide that now?
No, just who, out of this group, who wants to go, if they'll just tell you.
When is it?
It's on February 24th. So
And
next,
what's the time?
A week from today.
All day long usually.
yeah, it's a day-long conference.
8 to 4.
It gets, I think it gets through around 2.
After lunch, yeah, then they come back after lunch. And
I know it starts at 8.
Were you going,
I
Bert?
usually go, yeah.
Bert,
Yeah.
if nobody else goes, Lance wants to go.
our board meeting's been pushed back so many times. Should have been 2 weeks ago because of the cold weather and everything. So we're having a board meeting.
I think Randy should go.
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
And yourself.
So do we have, that's just 3 though? Oh, this 4, and okay. I forgot about it. Okay, you're going, right? Okay. All right.
So then me, Bert, Lance, and Brad?
Yep.
Then if anyone's interested in doing the workforce development online, it's a Zoom, I can forward that to this group, and you can sign up individually.
And then will you be able to give me updates on that since I'm not able to go anymore?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
we'll trade information.
Info swap.
Okay, Lise, happy birthday.
I'll tell you said so, man.
It's her birthday today.
Today's her birthday.
And well, I'm gonna get her to get a facial and, I don't know what else, but a razor for what?
A razor, I mean, good lord.
Whew, that's pretty rough.
It was like overnight.
All right, nobody else?
A wig too.
Yeah. Thank y'all for coming in, dialing in.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Hey, a quick question.
Uh-huh.
COVID shots.
Yes.
I don't know, Roger, you just have to put your name in every.
Roger, I was in every hub you could think of, every hub, every pharmacy. And
Yeah.
Thursday night at midnight, I was just happened to be up and I'd seen on the news where Walmart was gonna start giving them Friday, and this was Thursday night, probably between 11:30 and 12. I punched in there and got my shot Friday. I've been some of those
Okay.
other ones for over a month. And nobody ever, and I'm 72 and diabetic, and I could not get anybody to call me in.
Call Walmart.
So get on that Walmart website.
Yeah, I'm on the Walmart list.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah. What about Brookshire's?
I'm on theirs, been on theirs, I'm on the Washington County, I'm on the Brazos County hub, and then out of the blue, I punched in Walmart and got an appointment. You just have to keep
Was
on
that the-
trying.
You got one?
Was that the,
Yep, I'm already scheduled for the second one.
Unfortunately, we don't get a lot of information, Roger. We just know that if somebody, sometimes we know if somebody has them. So
Okay.
we're just telling everybody, get on every hub you can get on, and, hopefully somebody will call you.
Okay.
Sorry,
All right.
I know that's not much help.
Well, I was pretty frustrated, and I finally just lucked in. You just got to keep on trying.
Okay.
Hey, Raina, I'll give you a call in a little while, okay?
Okay. Shall we adjourn?
Yeah.